okay with questions from Coach Ball?
Mike, two big road games this week, Auburn, Texas A&M. What are you looking for from this group, given the challenge it's waiting?
Really just focused on Auburn, of course. Huge challenge. I mean, it's a top 25 program. It's a team that they just had a big home loss, right? They got negative momentum at home, right? They've only won 25-26 at home. They're really, really good, and it was our best win of the year, our best performance of the year, and it wasn't their best performance. We've got to play better. We've got to be even more sharp defensively, and probably got to make some hard ones. You know, they defend the three as well as anyone in the country, and it'll be a really tough environment. So it's gonna be our best performance. It's gonna have to be, obviously, to have a chance.
You mentioned the previous game, obviously, with the ups and downs that y'all have been through. How much confidence does that give you and this team in their ability?
Well, I think it makes for continued motivation, you know, for guys to want to come to practice, right? And knowing that their hard work is paying some dividends, and they're getting some positive reinforcement. And you know, wins are always obviously better than losses. We're going to learn from either, though, and we've improved marketably throughout the season, and we've got to continue to improve if we're going to be competitive down the stretch, especially on the road.
You talk about the win streak Auburn had at home.
Yep.
What logistically does playing there force you guys to do, adjustments you have to make just knowing the kind of environment that's going to be?
You know, it's a really tough environment, but there's a few in our league that I would put in that argument with those guys. You know, at the end of the day, it's because Auburn's been really good, right? They defend and they're efficient offensively, and they run really good stuff, and they've created an environment, you know, in that community where people want to come and be loud for them. You know, it's a very tough place to play, and the SEC's got a few of those.
Carrier and Terry obviously had a huge game last time. Is that the recipe to beating Auburn? Is that you got to have great guard play, or is there something that comes to mind?
I'd like to get great guard play and front court play and bench play and everything. We've got to be better. Again, we've got to be better. Wendell Green's one of the best point guards in the country, and he struggled. I don't anticipate that happening to that level. Jalen Williams missed some open ones. You know, it was one of those nights. They're really good, though. They're really good, and they're a team that's had some big wins throughout the year. And I want to say before these last couple, they had won maybe 7 out of 8. And obviously, they're as good at home as just about anybody in the country. Got to get good guard play. Got to find a way to manufacture a few from behind the arc. We've got to get in the offensive glass. They're terrific on the offensive glass. Again, they're great at defending the three. They're always really good in transition, of course. So our floor balance has got to be key for us. There's a bunch, though. I mean, defending Broom on the interior, the way those bigs pass to one another is high level. Alan Flanagan is playing at a different level than he was playing earlier in the season. I'm assuming he was dealing with some injuries. Is playing, you know, he's in a really good rhythm, and so we'll see a different lineup. We'll see a different level of play from him. They're good.
Mentioning Wendell, what are his strengths? What sort of stands out to you about the way
To me, his confidence. He knows he's good, you know, and he might even tell you about it. You know, he plays with as much swagger as just about anyone on our schedule. Respect the way he approaches the game. Doesn't take plays off. He can really score it, and I think that's probably what's covered as much as anything publicly. But man, he can get up there and pressure the basketball. He's got some leadership qualities. I don't know him, but man, I'm a fan. You know, as a former point guards are guys that I probably evaluate and look closer at as much as any position. And he's a really good player. He's done some big things there, and he'll continue to do those.
We talked a little bit about Juice after that South Carolina game. How much development have you seen from him since he first got here to where he is now?
He's made a big jump. The game has slowed for him a little bit offensively. He's just kind of settled into being more efficient, playing off of others a little bit more. and embracing the role of being our best defender. You'd want 10 guys to want to embrace that role, right? But he has, and he's got some physical abilities and some mental abilities that allow him to have separated from the rest of his teammates. He's his mental toughness, his competitiveness, and then physically, you know, he's got some speed and quickness and length and some physical toughness. He's turned into a really good defender. He'll continue, in my opinion, with challenging, right, and with embracing, becoming a better rebounding wing, both offensively and defensively, because that's in his ceiling, in my opinion, or in his upside rather. And he's continuing to develop offensively. He's such a worker. He goes so hard. He'll only continue to get better.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the first repeat opponent. How different is it? And maybe it's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
How different is it watching film, preparing for a team when you see yourselves out there?
It's very, very different. I think it probably simplifies it, assuming there aren't wholesale changes with either team, to a certain extent for both staffs, right? These are some of the things that we did well that worked, and these are some things that we could have done better, whether we won the game or lost the game, and Auburn's probably doing the same thing, right? And Auburn's tweaked what they're doing a little bit in certain ways, and we have too, but for the most part, we have a pretty good feel for each other.
Montrez didn't get the start, came off the bench, shot 5 of 7 from 3, I think had a season high of 17.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you seen him develop in his game?
Wow. He comes off the bench, right? I mean, maybe he should have come off the bench a little bit earlier. Maybe I should have done that for him, and that's my mistake. Played his best game as a Bulldog. He was fantastic. He was really good defensively, got some two-handed tough rebounds in traffic, and goes 5 of 7. Incredibly efficient. Played a good floor game. Played with some toughness and some confidence. Like to see that a lot more from him, right? And you're coming off a win. Who knows what you do with the lineup? Because at the end of the day, it's about winning, right? It's about the team result. But he's in a good place right now, and hopefully he's got a few more of those in him. Proud of him.
Any other questions for Coach? All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.